It seems there may actually be life on the moon, and we know because we put it there. CTV's science and technology specialist Dan Riskin is here with the coolest and scariest story ever in our look ahead at This Week in Science News. Dan, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Before we even get into it, like, most terrifying monitor wall I've ever seen.
I love it. I think they're cute. I mean, you have to remember they're small, right? They're less than a millimeter long, right? They're called water bears or tardigrades. They are pudgy little stuffed animals that are microscopic. They have
6 legs.
8 legs.
8 legs.
They have four pairs of legs, and and if you ever see them, they live in like the water in a moss, like all these obscure places, and they're just like they float around and they're just cute and harmless and lovely to have here on Earth. But now somebody put them on the moon.
Okay, so how do you feel about this? Because it starts with Israel sent up a spacecraft to the moon.
Yeah.
And then with the goal was to spread human knowledge in space, but it crash landed. And then what happened?
Okay, so Israel wanted to put a lander on the moon, and like at the last minute, you know, they had like all these pictures of things on Earth and our society and like all these things, so that if someone ever found the spacecraft, they'd be able to see what humanity was. And they spent a lot of time like making it out of nickel so it would last a long time. And then like with a couple weeks left, they were like, let's throw some tardigrades up there. So they took a bunch of tardigrades and put them on a piece of tape and stuck it on there and sent it up. Now, you would think that would kill a normal animal, but tardigrades are famous for 2 things. 1, they're cute. 2, you can't kill them. They're unbelievable. They have something called cryptobiosis. So, I mean, if you live in water in a moss and it becomes winter, it becomes ice, and you have to have a way to resist dying. So tardigrades have something called cryptobiosis, where they shut down, they squirt all the water out of their body, and they just hold on tight. And when they are in that form, you can freeze them to -200 Celsius, won't kill them. You can heat them up to 149 degrees Celsius in boiling water, won't kill them. You can put them in the vacuum of space, people have done it, it doesn't kill them. So these things have crashed on the moon and are on the surface in cryptobiosis, just waiting for some unsuspecting alien culture to accidentally get infected with water bears.
Okay, did Israel talk to anyone about doing this?
I don't think so. It just seems like something they did at the last minute, and I'm kind of worked up about it because it feels like if we're gonna put if we're gonna put Earth life on another celestial body, that's the kind of thing we should have a conversation about before we do it, Israel, before you just put water bears on the moon.
Okay.
It seems a little irresponsible. I mean, probably nothing's gonna happen, but there is a scenario where some alien culture is wiped out by water bears, and it will be our fault because we didn't think about it.
Weird. It's like humans have never made mistakes before and not learned from them.
Exactly.
Come on, people.
Have you never? Yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing about introducing rats to an island and they wipe out the whole island. If you take animals that don't belong somewhere and you introduce them, now, in all likelihood, the water bears are not going to get very far on the moon. Like, there's no atmosphere and there's nothing to heat them back up, and they're probably just going to stay there forever. But I just don't like that we did this without consulting each other first.
Fair enough, fair enough. What are we hoping to learn from the water bears?
Well, I think the idea with the water bears, part of what gets me mad is it wasn't really an experiment to look at how they perform on the moon or anything like that. Like, we've done a thing where we put them up in space and we saw that they could survive in the vacuum of space. The kind of good news is that the radiation of space did kill the water bears in this experiment. So if the water bears that are on the moon are exposed to the radiation of space, they might be killed and save the alien races in the future. But there wasn't really an experimental question here. It was just sort of a, let's put some water, you know, let's just do this because it would be cool. And I just don't think that's how you do a space program.
Dan, you've got a brain full of science and a heart full of compassion for the alien races out there.
I do. I care about them.
Yeah, well, we're glad you're here today.
Thanks a lot.
So weird.
It is weird.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.